everyone! Woo! Well, actually, it's Boxing Day now, but But welcome to another. It is still. But welcome to another episode of the Conn'Cast podcast, and this is a different. Not only is it a different location, but it's a different podcast in general. This is what we're calling it, a festive special.
Yeah.
Christmas special. Yeah. Today. So we were originally going to have hopefully more people. The stars didn't align. The idea was to have a lot of guests from previous episodes to come together and have a little chat. But I'm joined with Cameron. Thank you very much for coming as well, co-host Cameron, and Steph from a few episodes ago. I'm so grateful you're here. It's amazing, and I'm really excited for this podcast. So the idea of this episode is we're just going to have a authentic, normal chat between three people around Christmas. Topics we're going to talk about is like things during the year in general, do review of 2024, mental health over the festive period, or just wherever it takes us, really. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the idea we had, but this is not planned at all, so we're going to just go with the flow, see how we go, and see where this conversation takes us. Yeah. So,
cheers.
Yeah, cheers to that. Merry Christmas, everyone, and Happy New Year. But to start things off, Cam, how's your 2024 been?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the previous episode, we obviously already kind of touched on our 2024s a little bit. I think I won't go too much into what I said last time, but it's, I think my year's been a split of some really good things and some really shit things, using up my swear token.
Oh, I can believe it. Yeah, one S or F bomb we allow, it's fine.
Okay, that's fine, yeah. Just to express the year. But yeah, I think I do need to be grateful for a lot of things in my year. I think work-wise, something to focus on. I don't really know if I spoke on it last time, but work-wise, it's been a really good year.
Wicked.
And yeah, wicked.
I've got a cough. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, we can say that now. It's out.
We can, yeah.
Yeah, go watch Wicked.
If you haven't already, watch it. Cameron might be in it.
I am. But just in general, I think that jump to going like self-employed, and especially being a self-employed actor, that's so much like uncertainty. So I'm just really grateful that this year I've been able to just do that pretty much, whether it's, extras work or if it's like roles and stuff. I was going to ask a question actually on that. Do you ever find like anxiety from not knowing that like you don't have a certain income every year? Yeah. And in fact, it's been really good this year. But yeah. Do you ever feel like you get to the new year and you're like, oh no, what's next year got in store? Or are you quite excited for it? I don't think I really ever think like what's next year got in store. It's probably more like what's next week got in store.
Tomorrow. Get it for every day.
No, I think I've had the luxury this year of like there might have been a couple of months where it was a bit dry, but I think where I do like extras work as well, that it's kind of something that I can go into and get a bit of money from and be on a set and stuff. So it kind of helps me when I'm auditioning and maybe not getting things. Yeah. It's another source of income. So yeah, I've been quite lucky this year in terms of that, but definitely like if there's a period where it is really dry and you don't have much going on, yeah, definitely get anxiety for that.
Yeah, 100%. It's a financial sort of thing, isn't it? You don't know when it's next going to come. But yeah, I'm glad you've had it's been a bit of a topsy-turvy year. I know, obviously I don't know if you know this, Steph, but obviously me and Cameron already had an episode on the 22nd of December, which just came out. Obviously it hasn't actually come out as we're doing this, but we have done an episode where we spoke about 2024 in more detail. So if you haven't seen that already, please do go onto it, because it was about an hour of us.
Wherever it is.
Wherever it is. Yeah, should we put it some on the screen? We'll do it over there. I don't know where that is.
I don't want to edit that in.
Too late. You did it. You did it yourself. Yeah. That's kind of like 2024, isn't it, really? Again, for me, I'll just quickly sum up before we go to Steph. Yeah, it's been, I think in many ways, I didn't know where I was going to be this year, to be honest with you. This time last year, I had no idea we'd be sat here right now, us three, doing this podcast. That just blows my mind that we're here, and I'm so happy and proud of both of you as well. Like, you've it's the second time here, Steph. You've been helping from the get-go, and I'm just so amazed. I'm so happy this podcast has happened. Again, I spoke a lot about it in the first episode that I did. Well, one with me and Cam. But yeah, I'm just really happy that we're here today. But Steph, over to you.
Yeah, mine's been quite a rocky year, I feel like I was saying, very uncertain. So I came into the year obviously not really knowing what I want to do in terms of like work and things like that, or really sort of like who I was in a way as well.
Yeah.
So I sort of went through quite a lot sort of work-wise, and I was very up and down because obviously going through things like workplace bullying and things like that, and trying to put my mental health first.
Yeah.
It was hard to sort of leave that certainty and stability of a job with money and things like that for my own health. But I'm so proud of myself that I actually did leave, that place and things like that. And I've learned a lot this year due to that. Although it was rocky for me and I was really like unsure of what was going to happen next. I still had hope for myself, and I've not felt like that for a while. So I didn't even know that from your episode. I had no idea. I mean, I know now we obviously work together, which is quite nice. Actually. It's actually really nice actually that we're both like in the same area. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But yeah, it has been, I think for all of us, like a very up and down year. To end the year in such like a lovely environment as well, and like with all the friends that I've got, it's just it's really like shown me how different my life was actually at the start of the year, and it's
you'd definitely say it's an improvement.
Oh yeah, 100%. But at this end of the year, because at the start of the year I had no idea who I was really, like still. So
how interesting, Wow, yeah. To honestly, I just winged this whole year. I'm just getting through day by day, and we're here today,
and that's okay.
Yeah,
that is okay. Yeah, you don't need to have extravagant plans for the new year. And I'm going to do this and do that. It's great to have things to look forward to, but I think Elise on quite nicely actually. I forgot to actually mention this when I did the intro. I had too many things to say. Another thing, sorry, I didn't mention the paper mill, did I?
Oh, yeah, no.
Sorry, that's the first thing I was supposed to say. Obviously, it's a new setup. It's just for this episode only, but this has been kindly provided to us by the paper mill in Sittingbourne, Charlotte Street. Don't know the house number, don't know the postcode. Just look him up. And massive thank you to Max, just over there. I'm so appreciative. So thank you so much for having us. And it's a really cool area this as well.
Yeah, so cool.
So the other thing we're going to have as well for this episode, we've actually got some cards that I've kindly prepared for us. So instead of us going on like tangents constantly during the episode, where like goes a bit disjointed and stuff, I thought, well, what great way to keep us on track is to have some cards for us to look at.
Absolutely.
So who's picking up the first one?
Oh, I'll do it.
Oh, you do it. Go on. So I wrote these already, so I know what's coming up. Ish.
Oh, okay. So
I did shuffle them. Yeah. So please. Yeah. Do it. Yeah.
What are you most proud of this year?
You can read my writing as well.
I can read your
writing.
writing.
Wow. That's the first obstacle.
I'm not reading that word.
What? This is propaganda. This is fake news. It's all good. Wow, yeah, I wrote these and I don't even know the answer myself. Steph, we'll start with you.
Yeah, for me it's as simple as just getting through the year, honestly, and learning from what I've gone through rather than letting it sort of get me down, which I used to do quite a lot. Like actually taking on board how I felt and learning from it and actually improving myself for that is my proudest moment anyway.
Would you say sometimes you like self-sabotaged?
Yeah.
Is that kind of it?
100%. Yeah. So I've learned from it and I know how to deal with it and actually improve myself as a person now. Whereas before I definitely didn't know how to do that and I was just putting myself down all the time.
Can I say as well, that is, I think, the perfect answer to this. I can't beat that. I think just getting through every day is the best thing someone can do.
Yeah.
I feel like every year people think like, I need to achieve this, I need to achieve that. But
just so much pressure,
If you can just get through the year, that's all that matters really. I think we're going to add on anything of that, Cam, yourself.
Proud of this year. Yeah, I think just getting through the year, that was probably the like second half of my year really, was just getting through it and through that period of time. So I'm very similar, but I guess other things. One thing I would say, again, work related, but just being able to get back to work for the last part of this year. I think that's been that. I think I'm quite proud of that because it's obviously quite a big push after you've been through like losing somebody to go back into something quite full on. Yeah,
and can I say, Cam, I'm very proud of you as well. I'm not just saying that I'd say the same thing off this podcast. I mean, when you lose someone so close to you, I feel like sometimes you start to worry if like your life might change to a different course.
Yeah, if you can't get back to that norm.
Yeah, and whatever is normal after. It's whatever the new norm is, and I feel like sometimes you worry. are you going to lose yourself? And I'm so proud of you that you're here and you're Cameron today. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like sometimes people don't know what to do, and I'm so proud of you. And I hope your dad won't mention this, but also your dad.
Yeah.
Hugely proud of you. Again, we spoke about this on the other episode, but it's going to happen a lot.
More depth on that episode.
Yeah, so I don't like repeat stuff, obviously, but well done, Cam. Yeah, what am I proud of this year? Again, obviously, what you two have both said. I think just getting through this year is like incredible for all of us that we're here. And actually, I kind of relate to what you said, Steph. I think in terms of in a way of like myself, of like how I've actually learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
I think leaving my work earlier this year was a bit rash. I don't know if I mentioned that to you, obviously that's why I'm at Royal Mail now. Left my job as an accountant, and it was quite a rash thing to do. But I've learned some things. I've learned things about myself the hard way. That's not always a bad thing. I think people say like you shouldn't always like learn from your mistakes. Sometimes you shouldn't make those mistakes in the first place. But I feel like you kind of sometimes have to make you have to do things to like learn from them.
Definitely,
and I've done a lot of like trial and error this year. A lot of trial and error. And I've come out at the right end, and I've learned a lot about myself. I know boundaries with people. I know how I like to be treated. I know what I want to do, kind of going forward. And didn't know last year, so it's.
I think that was a big thing for you as well, was figuring out like what felt comfortable to you and not just like settling for something. And I think you haven't settled. So that's definitely something to be proud of.
Exactly that. And I feel like as well sometimes with people they kind of feel like so you almost need to have it all figured out as well. Yeah. Which is not the case still. I haven't. Can any of us hold our hands up saying we've got it figured out? I mean, as harsh as it sounds, I don't.
It'd be boring if we hadn't figured it out.
That's quite a good thing, actually. There's no room for improvement and growth in everything. So, yeah, was there anything else on this topic, either of you two?
I think being able to take the reins on your life, like how you have, and how we all have, is the most like strong like power that you can have. And that we've all like the fact that we can all do that this year, I think is just the most important thing.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's the best thing.
Look at us. Honestly. If there's nothing else on that side, I reckon we'll just go like a loop of these cards. Yeah. I actually can't remember. I wrote this at 1 a.m. last night. I was on fire last night. I was a machine. I wrote like 15 of these, so we'll see how we go burn through them. Right, can I read my own handwriting? What was the hardest challenge you faced this year, and how did you get through it?
Yeah.
Starting with Ramron.
Yeah.
But pretty so, yeah.
Yeah, I think mine is the obvious, really. Yeah. In that scenario, but
if you're happy talking about it.
What was the question again?
No. I think what I'll do is actually I'll let you hold it as you go around, so you can look at it again.
Yeah. I just can't remember the last part of it.
No, it's fine.
So that was definitely the hardest challenge. And how getting through it. It's an interesting one for me because I really don't think there is a set method when it comes to grief. There's not like, you don't get handed like a little manual and, day 2 you're going to do this and feel this.
Yes.
I think it was just like doing after that, or just like getting up and getting out. I think the first week, month, it was just me and Dad just sort of like getting up in the morning and going out and just going places, even if it was just for like a walk or something somewhere, just going and getting a coffee somewhere or anything like that. Because I think if I hadn't done that, then I probably would have just stayed in bed until like 5 p.m. or something like that.
No routine,
So I'd definitely say getting through it was just being active.
Yeah.
I'd say.
One thing I wanted to add as well, I actually remember it was the first time I spoke to you since I was saying happened to your mum. I think like we went out to, was it Margate? What's the place next to it? He took me to that really super cool
Westgate.
Is it Westgate? Where we had a really super cool coffee shop.
Oh, Cliftonville. No, I know what you're on about.
The cameraman always knows.
Yeah.
He always knows. And on the way there, I remember you went to me, we were talking about obviously grief in a way, about obviously your mum.
Yeah.
And I remember you said to me, like, if you're okay with me saying this, I think you said like, I feel like I should be more upset, like I should be bawling my eyes out and stuff. Do you remember that conversation?
I do actually remember.
And I remember saying to you something along the lines of like, you shouldn't be doing anything. You shouldn't feel guilty if you're not, because you're almost in like a shock state sometimes, and you feel like you should be bawling your eyes out and shutting yourself in for weeks, but that's not always what grief is.
No.
Of course, you miss them dearly, but you shouldn't. It's almost feel like you should grieve in a certain way, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not that at all.
No, it's not. It's different every time.
Yeah.
I would say. I think we can all say like it's.
I was going to say we can actually we can relate, all of us on this actually, which is quite nice in a weird way. You don't want it.
It's hard to put a label on that.
No, it's not nice. It just is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I thought that was so. Yeah, sorry. As you were.
No, that's me. Yeah, that's my part.
Yeah,
but,
I forgot what I said. So I wrote these. We've also discussed it for like 5 minutes, and I've still forgotten. Yeah, ADHD is at its finest. What hardest challenge you faced this year? I don't know, Jeff. I don't know. Hardest challenge. Have you got something, Steph? Because I'm running out.
Yeah, I mean, mine's probably like after I left my job, I put myself in a hole for a while where I couldn't find anything else. So it was good like 3-4 months that I just put myself in some really deep hole, and actually pulling myself out of that rut was actually the hardest thing that I could do. But as you said, being active and actually like getting up and making I set an alarm every day anyway, as if I was going to go to work, and I was just going out doing things, go walk to town or something like that.
Yeah, good.
And that's what pulled me out of it. But I honestly, like, in the middle of it, I was like, this is it. Like, I can't get myself out. And then I was like, do you know what? No, I'm not going to let myself, like, do that. I'm not going to let
that's
it.
exactly what I was going to say.
Give it to me.
As soon as I asked you, I was like, damn, no, that is so true. And, like, I always say to myself, like, if I could work 9 to 5 for my boss, I can work 9 to 5 for myself.
Yeah.
So that's why it's really... That's it. So
That's such a good quote.
It is. Wow, clip that, real. But it should be that. And I realised that quite soon after I left my job as well. That I was like, I was waking up at 7 a.m. to go to work, 6 a.m. Now I'm sleeping until 9, although that's not as late as we discussed. But do you know what I mean? Like, but like, I should still be able to do that for myself if I do it for my boss. So
100%.
Exactly what you said to me. I found myself, I think, around Christmas. That's now around summer, just before the tournament. Actually, no, just after the tournament, I kind of fell in like a rut, like you said, and that was quite a difficult thing for me to pull myself out of. And I don't think it's until we went to France really that kind of just broke the pattern.
Yeah,
we
went and did something.
We went to bloody France. I mean, like, it broke the pattern, and like you said, I was in a bit of a rut then. Went to France. I spoke about this idea of the Conn'Cast, and you were like, yeah, let's do it. And then we set it up, and then boom, it's all good. But you do sometimes need that little catalyst, don't you?
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, definitely.
it doesn't matter what
For
it
sure.
is.
Yeah.
So that was a hard thing for me as well. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that as well.
Yeah.
We are burning through this card, so unless there's anything else you want to add.
That's good. No, I think it's a good little segment.
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Right, here we go. Right, I'm going to try and read it now. Sorry.
This is ego, like, destroying.
No, I didn't mean to.
I'm kidding. I'm teasing anyway. But health podcast.
I can't read anyway, it's fine.
I'm kidding.
Did you experience a moment when you sorry. When you, what is it?
Did you experience a moment when you felt particularly at peace or happy in the past year? So a moment in this past year that you thought, like, I'm at peace, I'm happy. We can skip over some of these cards, by the way, if you've got nothing to say.
Oh, yeah.
Don't feel like you need to actually say anything on these. If you don't know...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, it's fine.
I think I've got something.
Please do. Even just a moment in
Yeah, I think that there's probably multiple moments this year, but I would actually mention France again.
Oh, that's so beautiful, yeah.
Just, we had an Airbnb in France just outside of Paris, which we had like a garden and like a hot tub in the garden. And I just remember one of the nights, it was like, this was obviously after everything that had happened, a few months after, but I just remember being in the hot tub, like, we just had like some drinks and stuff like that, and we
were playing Uno.
We were playing Uno in the hot tub.
There's a polystyrene sheet, wasn't there, that like, covered the hot tub.
I was going to say, the cards would get wet in the hot tub.
No, someone did drop their card in there.
Someone did.
No, probably Tom, wasn't it?
Probably.
There's always one.
There's always one. And like, we had this like polystyrene board like to keep the bugs out, and like we chose one that wasn't wet, and we just put
put all the cards on it.
But that was a core memory.
Yeah, but it's just like, we had music playing, and then when we weren't doing it, we was just like chatting and stuff. And I think at that moment, I was just very at ease. I'd say.
Also quite like a really nice moment. I think especially because obviously you told me about how your mum wanted to take you when you were a kid to Disneyland. It was quite like a personal thing that we went.
Yeah.
And then was that, I think we'd been to Disneyland at that point. Was it the same day?
I think that was the...
I can't remember.
I think that might have been the evening after we'd been to Disney.
Yeah, because we went in the middle, didn't we? And like that was a beautiful...
Yeah, it was just like, I think that's the word for it. It was just like a peace, just peaceful evening.
Yeah. On that topic as well, I'm going to be very similar to you because that was just an amazing holiday. We went to Belgium straight after France. So I drove to Paris and then I also drove to Belgium, which is quite a lot. But that trip with you and me in my Mini, driving to Belgium, just out of the Mini was so beautiful. Like that was probably one of my favourite moments of my life. It was so nice, honestly. Like driving through Arse Village. There was this place in France called, it was like As.
It was like
This is not.
Asville
This isn't swearing because it's genuinely called that.
Yeah.
This doesn't count.
We're probably twisting that slightly.
We definitely are. Put like a French accent on it. Yeah.
Found it stupidly funny at the time.
And then driving through to Ypres with like the alpacas as well. Was it alpacas?
Yeah, it was like alpacas.
Yeah, and it was like, it was so beautiful. That was just serenity. That was just beautiful, absolute bliss. I haven't got anything else from me from the year really. It's been alright.
There probably were quite a few moments, but it's just whatever.
I'm trying to remember again, this is an authentic podcast. So we haven't planned this, so it's just whatever sticks in mind, really.
Yeah.
It's fine if you don't have any, Steph.
Yeah, no, there's still a lot of uncertainty, so I know that I will find it. I think that's what's getting me through, rather than like, I don't have a key moment.
Yeah, do you think it's almost like you need to like, the way things are uncertain, you may look back almost nostalgic and go like, oh, that bit was quite nice this year. But while it's still kind of fresh, all of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
kind of
that. Yeah, by the end of the year, I'll probably be like, that moment, but at the moment, it's still up in the air a little bit.
There we go. Back to you, Ramron.
Yeah.
So stop calling you Ramron.
Like, talking on that as well, I think that's also... Oh, I've taken two. That's also like, okay, if... that moment of peace is still coming. It's kind of, in a way, nice to know that it is coming at some point.
Yeah,
definitely.
Just let me know if you need me to read it. No, it was Spider. It was 1 in the morning.
Who or what has been your greatest source of support in 2024? I've got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Greatest source of support.
Yeah, I thought this was a good one because we don't usually talk about people that have helped us through this year. Well, for you, I think Chloe probably would be as well. A bit of it.
Yeah.
I won't answer it for
I
you,
think,
but what do you think?
There's a few different things really that I could answer with this. I think in terms of people, there's been a lot of people. Yourself as well. We have a lot of chats. Just when you're dropping me back off at my house and we stay for like
later.
2 hours in the car talking about
we
stuff.
actually do.
There's that. There's Jack, Mitch, Tom.
Two
Toms. Good name.
Not the sat nav.
Even
not Tom.
Even at one point, I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning him, but like Callum.
Yes.
I hadn't spoke to Callum for I'm not sure how long actually, but it was a year or two. And we caught up at one point, and that was just a very big sort of like updating session, but also we spoke about some sort of like personal things. So
that was
stuff
nice.
like that. It's a release.
And also, where you hadn't spoke to Callum in so long as well, is quite kind of nice for you. I think you always.
It's lovely.
I think
that felt like a peace moment actually. Thinking about it.
I mean, yeah, that is because you kind of said it to me. I'm sure Callum might be saying this as well. But like, you always said to me that you really want to get back in contact with Callum. Like, he's a really good friend for you for so long, and it was nice that when you reached out and you're like, oh, great, like
when that kind of came about, I was just like, oh,
really up for it.
This is really nice. That had happened. But that was a great support thing because we were talking very openly about things. People, great source of support. I mean, people.
Just people in your life.
I can't really say much more.
Before I say Callum, we will see each other again. I promise. we last time I saw him, he was like, we need to arrange something. We will. I promise you. Okay. I don't know if he's watching this. I'll tell him to.
He said he does. Yeah.
I'll ask him to. Yeah. Tell him to. Okay. For me, it is my support network around me, whether it's Cam, Jack, Mitch, Tom, everyone. Like I've made some really good friends as well, in like Hannah, for example, more recently. Like I've picked up a lot of friends this year that have really grown really close to me really quick, which I'm really grateful for as well. I think the biggest support network is going to sound silly, but it is probably myself. I think like you can't change anything other than yourself. Like, you know, you can't control what other people do or say, but you can't get someone else to steer your own ship. So at the end of the day, you can only save yourself. It sounds really harsh, that. It's good to have people around you and they help you do that, but I feel like it does in the end always come to you, and I'm really grateful to have myself. And you know, at the same time, in a way, do you get what I mean?
Completely get that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of it, really.
Yeah.
Steph, do you? It's fine if you have anything. It's fine if you don't.
The card as
Obviously, you've got like the main sort of people around you. So like my best friend Rosie's obviously been like there for me for everything. Nick obviously is always there for me anyway.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's been different this year because where I've actually come to the senses of like what I'm feeling, and I'm being more open about it and allowing myself to feel that and actually asking for help. I've actually found that more people are coming through, like my parents are more getting involved, where before I would shut myself away because I'm like, I don't want to show them. Now I'm like, look, I need help, I'm suffering a little bit. And then they'd actually open up to me about things that I never knew about them. And it's been a big year for that.
Yeah. How funny is that, by the way? Yeah. When you tell people things, they're more likely to open up to you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And it made me feel so nice because it was like, I've never like seen that side because I've always shut myself away and they've shut themselves away. We actually had that moment. So maybe that was my peace moment.
Yeah,
we actually sat down and talked.
Yeah.
That could be. That definitely could be.
That is so good, Steph. I find it really crazy as well. Like I kind of relate with like I've had people message me privately about the podcast that want to come on. And they just tell me something like really like, you know, they haven't told anyone before, and they'll just message me that. And I'm like, whoa, like, I don't know. Like, it's really nice, I do, but it's really nice that when you do open up, or if you're using a platform that helps open up, people do open up back to you, and it's really good.
Yeah, but that's why you do it though. That's what's made me feel like so great, because I'll have people message about my episode on the podcast saying, it's really helped, and I'm like, that's why I do it. Like, I'm so happy. Good. Yeah,
you had that.
I had a couple of people say that to me. Yeah,
I never get.
That's lovely.
I never get that personally. The guests do. The guests get that. I never get told. So I just kind of hope. So thank you for telling me that, because I never actually get told by anyone if it's helped them really. That's so nice to hear, Steph. That's why we do this. Like, we're doing this episode now for you guys. Maybe it's Boxing Day, you know, for you're having your leftovers from Christmas Day, and this is just to help you guys. So that's so nice, Steph. That's so good. That's so good. I was gonna say something, left my head. Can't remember what it was now. So I guess we burn on to the next one. Yeah. Unless there's anything else you want to say on that.
No.
Yeah, I think that we go more into festive soon. I think. Oh, spoiler. Sorry. It was so silly. Oh no, is this your one, isn't it? Is this me or you? No, this is you did the last one.
I did the last one.
Right. We kind of already mentioned this, so we'll just kind of see what you want to, if we want to talk about it. What was a moment of failure or setback that turned into a valuable learning experience this year?
Ooh.
It's a tricky one to think of off the bat, isn't it?
That is a tricky one.
If no one can think of it, we can always come back, because I'm like, whoa.
I can't think of anything right now.
Mine I've already touched on, obviously, like jobs and things like that.
I don't fail. I'm perfect, so it doesn't. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I've got no setbacks. I'm just perfect. I fail a lot. In fact, I fail a lot. Off the top of my head, without sounding pig-headed, I actually can't think of a failure. I guess like I always say to myself, like, I need to be better, I need to improve, I need to wake up earlier, I need to go to the gym more. So I almost create a failure for myself in that sense. Almost like I've got too high of an expectation for myself. It's realistic expectations which I struggle with. So
I think the only thing I'd say for myself from this year in terms of it's, I wouldn't really look at it as a failure, but I'd probably say just like in terms of when I haven't got auditions or
that sort of thing,
parts or stuff like that, I think
I should be having that.
There's a few moments where I think in this past year that I've probably got a bit like that I really, even though rejection is a big part of it, and I'm usually meant to be all right with it. So there's definitely been a few points where I've been like, I wanted that. And I've had to kind of remind myself to not get down by it, that sort
Yeah.
of thing. So I'd say, I think that's the thing that I can think of.
We can actually probably all relate to that in a way as well. I was going to say, Steph, I don't know if you felt the same, but while I was unemployed for so long, I almost felt like people thought I was just a dosser. When I was trying to find my own way. But
because what it looks like from the outside, it's like,
Yes.
oh, they don't work. You know, it's been so long that they're not working for.
Exactly.
What are they doing? They're just sitting at home, like, you know.
Yeah.
Whether that's people like actually vocalising that to you or it's all in your head, I think it's more in my head, to be honest with you. I feel like people probably around me think that I'm just dossing and like luckily my friends, like even some of them where I thought would kind of like joke around, they didn't, to be fair on it. But I did find that quite hard actually when I was unemployed, and I feel better now that I'm working, but I guess that kind of is like a little setback in my life that I didn't realise that was going to happen when I quit my job. But I'm employed now. Woo! More jobs. Woo! And you've got work coming in. Woo! That's actually quite a good one. Actually, I didn't think it was going to be as much. Bosh. Right, over to you, Steph.
Try and read this one.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Decipher it.
Here we
1 in
go.
the
Can do
morning.
this one. What is one positive change you made this year?
Oh, one positive change. Oh God, I have to think about that.
Well, I mean, this would probably be more towards the start of this year, but a pretty traditional one, I'd say. I did actually start going to the gym this year.
Yes, that was big actually.
Which I hadn't done before, even if I've not kept up on it in recent weeks.
Yeah.
That was something big I did. I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah. That was good as well.
From a health side of things, yeah, I felt quite good doing that.
It's probably helped you with how rocky some of these this year's been for you in some areas. That is kind of just because it does help exercising a lot.
Yeah, it's a good place to go to.
And you have your friends around you because of that as well.
Yeah,
that's a great positive. Was there anything else on that? Sorry, or didn't want to cut you short.
I think I've already kind of touched on it. Like the work side of things is definitely a positive. But I've already spoken about
meeting Ariana Grande. Sorry, I have to drop that again. I've still got a video clip of it.
Yeah, clip it.
Can't believe she got to meet you. To be like, wow, I mean, that's crazy. I think for me, like a positive change, I think the podcast has been quite big. Creating the podcast has been pretty good. But exercising a bit more. But in terms of positive changes, I've got into more of my hobbies a lot more. So I've been DJing a lot more. I've been doing a lot of DJing. I've been like trying to just focus on my interests a bit more, which I'd really recommend. If you want to make a positive change to your life, try to just get back in touch with your hobbies. Whatever brings you fulfillment in life, you know, it's not all about 9 to 5 working. So that's one big one for me.
Mine would be sort of what I talked about in my episode as well, like today.
Yeah, it's fine.
My positive change in mindset. So actually, like, you know, allowing myself to feel and actually sort of being more confident as well in that way. So like, obviously, give this probably last year, I wouldn't be able to sit here and do this podcast now.
Crazy.
But that changed, like, it was towards the start of the year. Obviously, I had that just like flip, and I was like, do you know what,
changed.
like. I'm just going to take life as it comes and do my best and sort of put my all into everything. Yeah. And that's, you know, maybe who I am today. So hopefully it's a positive thing.
Genuinely, I feel like you only live once, isn't it? Like, you
100%.
just got to give it your best. Like, you know, it's just life's too short to be scared about doing things as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
That's good though. That's so good, Steph. Burning through these. We are half an hour in, to be fair, so we can.
That's good.
Yeah, we're doing quite well. So, is it back to you if you wanna?
Oh yeah.
I quite like this card. Sort of. It's actually quite good.
Yeah, it's good.
Just discussing things.
It's fine. If you could go back to 1st of January 2024, what would you tell yourself?
Oh, this is a great. It's almost like I wrote these myself. It's amazing. Like, wow, who came up with this? I actually don't have an answer. I wrote them. I will do. God, what did I tell myself? I guess I probably would have just said like everything will be okay. That's what I'll tell myself.
Yeah, I'd probably say something similar as well. I think.
I mean, I mean. God, I guess you wouldn't be able to guess half what happened this year on the 1st of January.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'd probably want to say much because I don't think I'd want to change anything.
No,
in terms of like how I've dealt with things naturally.
Yeah, and
I think if you knew things that were going to happen, you'd kind of approach them maybe differently. I don't. It's a weird one to kind of talk about.
It's just quite a scary one as well in some ways. Of like, if something really bad happens to you or something really good happens to you, you almost don't want to go back to tell yourself. But it can be interesting for advice. Yeah, I'm similar to you actually. I feel like I don't regret anything that I've done this year. So my advice would not differ too much from now as of the 1st of Jan. I feel like, I'll put it down there. I feel like I'd probably keep everything the same and just go like, look, Finn, like things will be okay. Like just carry on as you are. Because the only way you can learn in life is just by experiencing it. For me personally. If you just tell yourself, it kind of ruins the learning. So Steph?
Yeah, I would tell myself strap in.
Strap in, lock in.
But don't lose yourself in it.
Yes, that's
and
a good,
just
great
remember
one.
who you are and just stick to who you are, because that's the only way you're going to get through it. Which is how I did get through it. I just remembered who I was and wasn't going to change myself.
Stick to yourself. Be you. That's such a good thing. Don't lose yourself.
Yeah,
let's say.
literally.
That's good. That's good. Was it me now?
Yeah,
we're gonna run out of these. It's not bad though, because to be honest, if we do, we can just chat about anything really.
Yeah, no, we're in good time.
Yeah. Are there any habits or patterns from this year you want to leave behind as you move forward? Oh, another banging one. Sorry. Maybe it's not. Maybe we might have a good answer.
I would probably say like those kind of days where not that it's bad to have them, where like you maybe wanted to do things and then you've just kind of just laid around all day and then you feel bad for laying around. I think I'd probably want to have less of those days, but at the same time, sometimes those days are needed.
Why are we so similar? Like I feel with this so much. It's like sometimes your body does need it. Especially if your routine where like you do crazy early calls, start times in London. Sometimes you do need that mental health day.
Oh yeah.
To just But I know what you mean. Sometimes you have too many of them, and it's like almost like a rut.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree with this. But one positive thing I think you can implement into your life that I've realised more recently is if you do get in that sort of like where you just sat around doing nothing, I think routine helps so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much if you have that. Like you actually said it perfectly, Steph, earlier, where you said about how you'd set an alarm.
Yeah.
That straight away gets you up at like at the time you want.
Yeah.
And then maybe to go to the gym. I remember you had to wake up once really early. This is perfect when Chloe went to work and you got up at like 6:30 and you texted me about midday. I was like, how you doing, mate? And you were like, yeah, I'm good. I've woke up really early because Chloe had to go to work. I had a coffee, went to the gym, tidied my room, and it's only midday. I was like, Cameron, you absolute animal! Like you're a machine. Like, how do you do it? And I was like, it's stuff like that. If you just wake up early, I think it does put yourself in the right.
Yeah.
So that's really good to mention actually.
Yeah, I tend to feel quite guilty if I know that I've like wasted a day. I'm like, and then I feel rubbish, and then I do it again and again and again.
I don't tell myself like, well, tomorrow's not always for granted, and I've just waited all of today. And it's like it is so tricky. So guys, if you feel the same, you're not on your own. And I don't know which camera look at that one. Like definitely routine's a great one. I say it, I don't do it enough, but I feel like we should. Steph, did I ask you? I can't remember.
Bad habits, probably leaving everything last minute.
Great song, sorry.
Not leaving everything last minute, sort of like not making the plans that I want to do because then missing out as a result of it.
Oh, that's so true.
So if I want to do something, I'll just book it, do it now, not leaving it too last minute, and then it's too late. And the moment's gone. So
it's like you're going for like drinks with someone, and like you have a task you want to do that day, and you just put it off the whole day. Is that kind of what you mean? And
or like just going like say like there's a concert or something that you want to go to, and you're thinking, oh, Uman and I are in, because you're like, I'm not sure. Just book it and do it, because you're gonna feel rubbish if you didn't go, and then you're like, oh, I wish I went. It's that sort of thing, or That's
a good point as well. That's great. So guys, unfortunately we have lost a soldier. Steph has unfortunately left. She had enough. I'm joking though. That's not. She had better things to do. Nope, sorry, that wasn't worded right. She went to. She just left us. Yeah. I'm upset. I'm fuming. So it's fine. She had other plans. It's fine. She's really booked. It's fine. But we're going to continue with the OGs of the podcast, being me and Cam.
Yeah.
Do you want to take it in turns?
Yeah.
You do this one if you want. I haven't read it yet.
Cool. What are your thoughts on... Oh, it's okay, yeah.
The greatest obstacle of this
The first challenge is reading.
That is literally it.
No, it's fine. What are your thoughts on loneliness during the festive period? Is there a link.
That's correct. Yes, it looks a bit weird. Yeah. Is there a link to it? Because that's the other thing to say. Do you think there's a link?
Oh, a link to
with
okay.
loneliness, the topic of loneliness, and the topic of the
oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd agree. Yeah.
I would agree because I think it's more like, you know, looking through the window of other families and stuff, and especially because, you know, we live in such an age where everybody posts everything. So on Christmas Day, you'll see your neighbour's roast. You'll see your neighbour's.
It's not rating them as well.
Your neighbour's dog's family's Christmas.
It's gonna happen eventually.
You'll see everybody's because people love to post, which is absolutely fine. Yeah. But that does kind of instill this thing in my brain, or not my brain, people's brains of like, oh, I don't have that.
I don't have
that.
Like
that looks better than mine, or
their family looks really happy.
Sometimes people are like, that looks worse than mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Judgmental people.
It's true. That Christmas dinner looks lovely, like, you know. And it's, some people don't have that family. Some people are just detached from their family. Maybe they moved away for work or something. Maybe they're in the army, civil service, whatever. They're away from their family,
or they don't talk to their family.
Yeah, there's also things with family as well in that sense.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to say, and I think I'm going to do an episode on the 29th, might be a solo one, about loneliness in the festive period, because I think it's really good.
Yeah.
It's not always physical loneliness. It can be in your head as well. Whether it's you're mourning a loss of a loved one, and you're feeling lonely because maybe it's your partner, and you know you're obviously not there, and yeah, it's a really, really kind of tricky thing to navigate, really. And it's also as well, you might have everyone around you, but you still feel lonely in your head because they don't understand you, or that's the kind of things that I kind of feel like sometimes around Christmas. And maybe it's a bit too hectic. Maybe you get that bit of anxiety having the big family around, everyone's around, Christmas dinner, blah, blah, blah. I've done it a few times. I've just shut myself in my room. It just gets too much.
That's actually such a good point, because I've done the same thing. Yeah. Sometimes you might beat yourself up as well, because you think, I've got an absolutely fine family in Christmas. Why do I want to go upstairs?
Exactly.
Why do I want to not be with that? But some people just don't like it. As well. It can be overwhelming as well. Sometimes you don't want to be in that space. No. It all depends on the day sometimes. But
it depends how you feel on the day. So you have the anxiety of Christmas there as well, but you could also be in the same room, in your front room, with all of your friends and family, and still feel lonely because you just feel like they don't understand you. They don't know what you're going through, and you can feel quite lonely because of that. So that's something I wanted to kind of speak about. Obviously there's grief with that, but obviously that's another episode. And so happy that with loneliness around Christmas. Brilliant.
I've
only got a couple more now. We're trying to wrap up. This is more for you, Cam. I mean, I don't know what it means to me, but what does the Conn'Cast mean to you? Do you think it's helping people?
I think you can answer this one as well, to be fair. Get your opinion on it. But what does the Conn'Cast mean to me? I think it's been a very, I guess you'd say, therapeutic space in a way, because it's got me talking about myself. But I think it is, such a lovely thing in a way as well, because it has brought people together. There's people that I've not met before that who we've spoke about, and people, I think when you hear about those intricate parts of their life, you kind of get to know someone a bit better. Like Connor from episode 2.
Yeah,
I didn't know him at all, but the after that conversation, even though I wasn't even in that episode, I was there. I was like, wow, you're a really nice person.
It's real people talking about real things. There's no facade with what we're talking about. It's just authentic, original. We're just saying it as it is. That is it. And it's so nice. On that topic as well, where you said about Connor, I found, although the majority of these people I actually already knew coming onto the podcast, I've created such a bond with them since. Whether it's Nick or Eve, I still speak to Eve quite a lot, and I didn't speak to Eve for a lot. We still talk quite a lot now. Steph, obviously she's just gone, but especially us between the last month, we've been talking so much because it's just so nice. It's created a bond with me from like a personal perspective these having people on, and it's having people in the same room as you in a therapeutic space, as you say.
Like Gabe as well. Gabe from a few episodes ago.
That's perfect.
I'd worked with him and got along really well with him, but I hadn't seen him in about 2 years until this, and that was lovely because there were so many things that I didn't know about his life that came out on this podcast, and it was like, wow, that's amazing. Like
it's great, isn't it?
Doing so well.
And you're like, whoa, did not know. I don't know anyone. I say it every single episode. I'm like, wow, I've known you all my life. I did not know what you've been through. Wow. And it's just real things. We're talking about real things, and I don't get a lot of feedback from people. I know people still watch it, and I know the guests get a lot of it when they come on. Like Steph said that she had people messaging her saying how good her episode was.
I've had people,
which is amazing. Well. So for some reason, I don't get it a lot for me personally. So I just kind of just have to just guess that people still like it. I see a lot of interaction, but regardless if people like it, I don't link my self-worth of this podcast to other people. It's about what I think is good, and I think this is good work. So if you ask me personally, do I think this is good? Yes, because I think it is, regardless of what anyone else thinks.
Yes.
So, and I'm hoping it helps you. And if it isn't, please let us know. Give me feedback. Give us feedback. Let us know how we can improve the podcast. We'd love to hear from you. One thing before we get on, is that you're happy with that?
Yeah, very happy.
One last thing I wanted to say before we get on to the last bit is that we have actually had a question. Because Toby will be very upset if I don't. He took his time to ask that question.
Thank you, Toby.
Thank you, Toby. You're a legend, Toby. Honestly, appreciate it. Toby has put, have you ever felt making New Year's resolutions? Have you ever felt making New Year's resolutions is a burden when we should be celebrating how we've changed over the last year?
I do actually fully agree with this, and I think that's brilliant from you, Toby, because
it's good.
There is such a stigma. Personally, I've never really made many New Year's resolutions.
Agreed.
Maybe subtly might have made a few, but you hear people say about New Year's resolutions, and most of the time it is usually the thing of, I want to go to the gym, I want to lose this much weight, or I want to start doing this, I want to learn this. And the thing is, life kind of gets in the way a bit sometimes, but it puts people out because then they feel like, oh, I couldn't even stick to that. I stuck to that for like a week and then I had to go and do stuff. And it's not very progressive.
It's not. It's unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic expectations. You say, oh, I'm just going to go gym for the whole year when you haven't been before. I mean, you can do it, but don't get me wrong, you definitely can.
Yeah, it's possible.
But you start to beat yourself up if you don't.
Yeah.
And and Toby put it perfectly. The flip side, I'm really happy he did a combined question, because he also then said about we should be reflecting on. I agree. We should be reflecting on the past year.
Yeah.
As opposed to actually trying to just go, oh, I need more and more and more.
Yeah, for sure.
It's about being grateful for what you've had. So yeah, Toby, completely agree.
And not to sort of talk too much about Toby, because hopefully we will have Toby on the podcast at some point. I know there was a mention of it.
It's recorded. It's in there. He can't get out of it.
But yeah, I think Toby, and again, I won't talk too much about him if he does come on, because he'll talk about himself anyway. But I think, Toby's an example of somebody that's progressed a lot this year. And I feel like from the start of the year to the end of the year, there's a lot to be proud of there.
Oh yeah, well, it's what we're
Toby.
From knowing Toby.
And I think that's a much better thing to look at the end of the year, is looking at what you're proud of, like what we spoke about today, what you're proud of and what's gone really nicely. It's fine to look forward to the next year, but
being grateful for what you have and not what you don't have. Not for putting your thoughts onto I need more next year. It's about being grateful for what you have, celebrating your achievements of getting through the year, and opening and being open to what next year can bring. Really embracing it is very important to me as well.
Absolutely.
I'm quite conscious we need to wrap up, so I'm going to quickly do the last one, and we'll just get going. It can be literally one sentence, this almost. The last flashcard we had that I also wrote. What's one thing you hope the listeners on the Conn'Cast, Cam and me obviously, remember about taking care of their mental health during the holidays?
I feel like we're probably both going to say a very similar thing here, but just to be kind to yourself more than anything.
You need to remember that.
I think I would like the listeners to just do something you love. If that's if that is having Christmas dinner with your family, go and do that. Enjoy it. If that's going on a walk on Christmas Day, go and have that walk. Yeah. If that's learning something new on Christmas Day, if that's going on PlayStation all of Christmas Day, just do it.
Be kind to yourself. Yeah.
Do something you love, and own the day more than anything. Yes. It doesn't have to be traditional. It can be whatever you want it to be. So that's my 2 pence.
Sorry, I've got a bit of silent here still. Cheers to that.
Ah, cheers.
Because you have summed up perfectly, Cam.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change that. So cheers to that. Merry Christmas, everyone, as well. Look after yourself. Be kind. And I hope this podcast episode has helped you guys. Hopefully you pick up a few bits if you're watching some Boxing Day and you're like, yeah, you know what? It's okay. Do we say bye?
Oh, and bye.
Yes! I thought it was a bit rude. Now we drink.
Now down.
Thank you very much, guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. See you later.
See ya.